Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm, coaching paradigm as well. This is our life lesson series. Haven't done one of these in a while, but did a few of these up today. We got over 1,400 audios available on the channel. We continue to add as often as we can for your listening pleasure and try to make things good for you in that way. So if you are looking for life, business, relationship coaching, would love to be of assistance to you, continue to connect with you in a way that is somewhat meaningful, at least I hope, and then we can kind of make something good come from there. In any event, kind of looking at things, if you are looking to reach out at PO Perception on Twitter and or in the About Me section of this YouTube channel can get you the information you need. The first is guard your energy. So who you allow around you is super important, and also understanding that every energy, every person, every situation that you allow around you is going to affect how you see the world, how you feel about the world, where you're going, what's coming next, how you see, what you are capable of handling, and the amount of energy you have to tackle certain things in your own life. And so when there is a challenge there, when you don't necessarily understand what's coming next, you often may drop your guard. You may get into a desperate space, and then you may not understand how to deal with conflict appropriately or in a manner that is in your best interest. And so, conflict resolution also super important for a number of reasons, not limited to the fact that at the end of the day, the world doesn't necessarily want us to be, in a good space. Doesn't necessarily want us to be ahead of ourselves. A lot of times people go into a level of competition. A lot of times people go into a level of kind of moving things forward. And then the next thing is resiliency. So resiliency is super important for a number of reasons. Ultimately, when we begin to understand the value of being resilient, when we begin to understand the value of dealing with how to connect on a deeper level, we have to see that it doesn't matter what happens to us, it matters how we respond to whatever's in front of us. And that response is important and valuable and important because how we respond determines how far we get in daily life, how far we get in the world. Sometimes being willing to admit that we need to pivot emotionally, mentally, spiritually, just in terms of what we expect from others, pivot in terms of what we can handle, or admit that we have difficulty handling certain factors, can be the difference between getting stuck in something for a long time. Look, you will outgrow jobs, you will outgrow relationships, you will outgrow locations, but if you're holding on to it as though it's going to get markedly better, and your sense is I've outgrown this, or it's not getting better, or I feel like I'm losing traction with this, or every time I look at this, I feel stuck, then it's your responsibility to kind of begin to move yourself forward. And sometimes people don't want to do that because there's a lot of pain that comes with making those decisions. There's a lot of pain that comes with identifying what it is that we need to do and how we begin to work on things and work through things. And so it's also important to begin to also see the value of kind of looking at things in terms of how we manage our environment. Look, if there's constantly a lot of stress around you, then it may be necessary for you to take some time off, or to reevaluate who or what is in your life, or reevaluate how you're using your time. One of the things that we can be guaranteed of is we all have the same number of minutes in an hour, same number of days in a week, same number of days in a month, days in a year. And so what we do with our time is determined by where we put our focus. And so if you don't like where your life is, then chances are your focus is not in alignment with what is ultimately necessary. The next thing to look at there is not allowing yourself to get into a state of overwhelm where you make emotionally driven decisions that don't serve you well in the long run. And so finding a way to identify how things serve you is also important from there as well. So keep in mind, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.